Okay, hi there guys, welcome to another library management system tutorial or developing a library management system using VB.NET. So we still have a lot to do. Right now progress 24%. We finished last time, we finished the shelves, we finished the books interface. So right now we are supposed to create the student objects here. So first thing, we have to define the students table and the object and stuff like that. So let's go with that. Let's go to the students. So where is that? This is the design books. Where is the student? Okay, so here we have student information. We have name, identification, year, contact information, email, and student ID. Okay, so let's go to our project here. This is the database. I think I can go to Server Explorer, get to this one. There we go. Okay, so now we are supposed to create the students table. So let me just make sure. Okay, student information. So I'm gonna right click this and say create a new table. Okay, so this is gonna be students. Okay, this is the students table. What do we have? We have student ID. This is the primary key. So student ID, and this is numeric. So far so good. This is gonna be primary key, no problem. Okay, identity, yes. What other types do we have? We have tiny int, small int, pop. Nope. Okay, just make it number. So this is the first one, no problem. The next, this is a primary key. The next one is what? I was searching for auto increment. I forget the data type that activates the auto increment field. So we have name. Okay, so this is gonna be student name. The reason I didn't use name alone is that I don't want to have any kind of error later on. So I'm varchar 1000 and allow null. This should not be null. Okay, student name should not be empty. We have identification information, student IDENT, student identification, also 1000. Okay, so this is the passport or the ID of the student. This should not be null also. Okay, obviously this should be unique. There are no two students with the same ID, but the student name, it could be repeated because there could be two John Smith at the same, let's say, university. It's not likely, but it could happen. But the IDs should never should never, you know, should never have such a thing. Okay, what do we have also? We have the year, contact information, and email. So let's get to this student year. Where's that? Here. And this is going to be numeric. Contact info, student. Let's make it just student contact. Okay. And what's the last one we need? We have, sorry, email, right? Yes, it's the email. So student email, there we go. On varchar, I think 100 characters is quite enough for an email. And that's it, I suppose. Student ID, name, student identification. Okay, so what's the difference between student ID and student identification? Student ID is used inside the database, just a number. Student identification represents the ID, so basically it could have in alphanumeric characters. Okay, so this could be different, could be anything. That's why. So I think this is the design we need to do, and that's it. I'm saving the information, so save that. So here, this is the students. So I guess we finished this one. This step is done, and let's go to development steps and students table. This is it. So next we need to define students object. So let's go back. Let's go to our business part. Let's go add and select a new class. This is going to be what? This is going to be student class, obviously. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Student class. There we go. So put a few comments. This class is used to manage basic student information. There we go. Simple as that. Now I will have to go and check some other classes just to remember the style. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay. So we have to define the variables, then yeah, setters and getters. Yeah, I totally forgot the code. So basically some comments and stuff like that would help me a lot. Remember what did I do? So here now to define, or actually yeah, define the what do you call it, the members of the class. So private student ID, okay, as long. Okay, this is the ID of the student. Okay, I think you don't need that because it's quite obvious. Private student name, a string, private student IDNT, a string, and the private student year as integer, private, what do we have also, student contact as string, and the private student email as string. There we go. That's it. Let's go back to this one. Yep, we need to. Okay, and also we need to something to store the old information. So we have private old actually I could just copy these same variables but old, like for the old values. Old. That's it. So next we need to write the setters and getters okay. Public subset student ID ID as long. Okay, me dot student ID equal ID. There we go. Okay, just also check the style here, no problem. Yep, I suppose that's it. Yeah, okay, that's it. So nothing special here. Yeah, public set student name as string. Gosh. Public sub set student name st name as string e dot student name equal st name. Okay. Next thing is student identification. Public sub set student IDNT as string me dot student identification equal IDNT. Okay, you can see the code is just being repeated again and again. There's nothing special here. Okay, set student, is that, no, there's something wrong. Student, yeah, student here. For some reason I think the way I wrote students is wrong, but I can't detect what's there here. Anyway, so year as integer, and here me dot student here equal year. There we go. Okay. Next one, what do we have? We have contact and email. So public subset student contact st contact string me dot student contact equal st contact. There we go. And what do we have also? We have public subset student email. Okay, st email a string. So basically me dot student email, where's that email, equal st email. There we go. So now we finished the object, so let's save that. Okay, this is the object, no problem, I suppose. So what do we have? We have create, modify. Okay, so we finished this. We go to the next step, which is create a new student. So basically creating a new student means inserting the student's record into the database. Now let's work on that. Okay, so so let's have a look at this one. How did we do it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now let's search into DB. Save the student info into the DB. Okay, so public function save info. Wait a second. Insert into DB. I'm sorry. Insert into DB. There we go. So what do we have? We have DBMS. Right. Gosh. I want to make this the same style. I forgot 90% of the code. No, it's alright. DBMS and comment. Okay. So DBMS as a DBMS class. There we go. And commit as boolean. Okay, and this is gonna return as boolean. Okay. So what should we do here? We should use try catch. So dimension C1 as a new collection, dimension C2 as a new collection, dbms dot. Oops, why did I do that? Sorry. So here dimension SQL as string equals, or SQL equals insert into students, open a bracket, and now you should list the column names. Okay, so I'll put them in here just to make the code organized. This is gonna be student ID, comma, and underscore. Let's go to the next one, student name, comma, okay, go to the next one, student identification, and underscore. Next one, there's gonna be student year, comma, and underscore, student contact, comma, underscore student email. There we go. So these are the columns followed by values, open a bracket. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so we have these 6 values. Close this, double quotation. Okay, so this is the SQL statement. Insert into blah 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 values blah blah blah. Okay, so now we need to have a student ID. Now the problem is, how do we get the ID? It's gonna be like this: dimension max ID as long question mark equals. Now the question mark means that this could variable could store the number or null, which normal long cannot store null value. Anyway, so here there's the first one, dimension as a string. Now as equal dbms dot create result set, select max of what? Student ID from our friend here, students. Okay, there we go. And now what are we gonna do? We are gonna say dbms dot read and check not in the file s. Okay, because this one must always return a value even if it is null. So now max ID equal dbms dot get column value, open yeah, and now I need to specify the column name. So I didn't give it a name as mx, so this is gonna be what? Mx. Okay, so we got the maximum ID, and now dbms dot close results set, and this is gonna be what? This is gonna be s. Now what we need to do is increase the ID, but before that, maybe this is the very first record, so you don't want to get any error. So all you have to do is if max ID is nothing, then max ID equal 1, else max ID plus equal 1, which means increase maximum ID by 1. The next step is to insert the value. All you have to do is say student ID equal max ID. I think you could hear the sound of the motorcycles out there. Here it's quite noisy. Anyway, regardless of that, now let's insert the value. So we have the SQL statement here. It's in the SQL variable. So all we have to do is dbms dot execute SQL. There we go. And this is going to be SQL followed by what? Max ID, or if you'd like to me dot student ID followed by what? So we have student name. We don't need the me, but student name followed by, I think it's student identification, right? Student identification followed by what? We have the year contact email. We have student year, student contact, and student email. There we go. So we have all these, and finally after that we just make sure fcommit then dbms.commit. Okay, and if all goes well, you will reach this statement, which is return true. Otherwise, it's going to be dbms.rollback and return false, so you know that there's some kind of error. Okay, so I suppose this is the insert part. Let's just compare it to this one. Okay, no problem. Yep, as you can see, no problem. So now we need to go to the tester project. Where is that? This is a tester project. I'm gonna make this as a startup one. Double click on that, and I will double click on this one. So let's continue with our test. Which part should we go to? Okay, this one. Now there's gonna be test 18. Test 18. Insert new student. Okay, so dimension st as a new student. Oh, wait a minute. Library management system dot student class. There we go. So we just define a new one. So now st dot set student name is going to be what? As the name will be Todd, and st dot wait a second, set student contact. Let's say UK, for example. St, well, that's not a contact, but I guess you must write a form or something. Anyway, let's say the email Todd at yahoo.com, for example. st.set identification. Okay, this is the ID. Okay, so st.set year 2011, let's say. st.set student ID, student mail, student contact. Okay, so I guess this is it, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 6. Okay, now all we have to do is if what's the variable here? Okay, so bk2, the bk here is the database management system. Oh, wait a second, no, it's obj. Okay, obj for test. So if st dot insert into db, this is going to be obj followed by false. In that case, else. Test 18, Control C. There we go. Now this is going to be test 18. So what are we doing here? We are creating a new student object. We are following the information, and finally we are inserting it into the database without committing anything. If everything goes well, this means that the code here is working fine. Otherwise, we will see if we are getting an error. So we'll have to save this. Let's run that. Go. Come on. Okay, invalid exception was unhandled. Could not be aborted if there is any open cursors in the scope of this transaction. Make sure that all data readers close before explicitly closed before aborting the change. Okay, so here I think I know what's triggering the error. Control how can I display the okay, I need to see the stack trace. Stack trace. Okay, now I'm just doing this because I want to see. Okay, Okay, I know what the error is. So here, close the results set. So dbms over here. That is weird. Wait a second. So let me check which statements triggering this error. So I'm gonna run this here. Click here. Okay. So now select maximum student ID as mx from students. Go. Now, what's the error here? Specified cast is invalid. Okay, no problem. So let's go back here. Hopefully go back to the statement. So I will add watch over here. mx, come on. What's this one? Okay. Okay, another way to do it. Instead of this, I'm gonna say dimension obj as, or let's say tmp as object. There we go. It's gonna be tmp. Okay, so now ftmp. Okay, then. Okay, so let's try this out. So what do we have? We have system.dbNull. So if this one equals dbNull.value, wait a second, come on, okay. So this is the first value. So the error is not in the database, it's in the casting part. So we got the maximum ID, else what we have to do, it's gonna be what? It's gonna be tmp plus 1. Okay. Yep. And all should work well. Okay. Okay, so test 18 is working well, but test 15, 16 and 17 are failing for some reason. I don't know what I changed there, but let's go. Where's the test? Where's test 15? Test 15. I think it's just okay. Loaded from DB. So book a class. The book is 1, 2, 3. I suppose. Okay, so set book ID. It's 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, let's run this. I think because I have information in the database, I'm getting these errors, but regardless. So and it seems we are having some kind of error, right? No, it's working fine. So we should have now book numbered 1, 2, 3. No problem. So now we'll have to load. Why this one doesn't work? That's weird. Okay, so let me just check that and see what's happening, because I didn't get such kind of error. So let's go. Okay, there we go. Now okay, I know why I'm getting this error. Right or not? This is OPJ, this is OPJ, okay. F11 book IDs 1, 2, 3. Books, well, book ID, etc, etc. No problem. What about inserting a book here? That is really weird. Unless I did something, I modified something here. Go again. Okay, so here I'm supposed to set the book ID into 123. So I'm gonna say F11. Okay, so now I know what I was doing wrong. So you see here, this is get next val, right? So now I'm creating my own book ID and getting rid of the 123 over there. That's why I'm getting this error. I think I will use this one. Okay, just wait a second. Yeah. And instead of loading the book by the ID, later on I will use something different. Go. So yeah. Not book by ID. Okay, no problem. Maybe I could modify it a little bit, or maybe later. So let's go to this one. Let me just modify this. Instead of doing something like that, I will remove all these statements all together, and even remove these. Just say get next val. Yeah, since I created this function that gets me an ID right away, so it will be much easier if I just increase the counter right away and assign it to a student. Okay. Anyway, it should work fine. What about this? What other methods do we have for the book? We just have book ID. Okay, so instead of this, I should have used what? bk dot get book ID. Should be something like this. And now it's working fine, right? And yeah, no problem. So now it's working fine. That's why it didn't work the first time. No problem. And 18 is working, and no, not exactly. Okay, let me stop this for a second, save this and run. Go. Waiting. Okay, so all the tests are successful, I guess. Yeah, which means our work is correct so far. So let's go here. Now creating a new student is fine. We need to load the student information. I will stop the recording for a second and start it again. Okay, so now continuing, before we could start on with modifying things, we need to load the information. Okay, so it seems that I didn't write the code for that, but or the step for that, but let's write the code. So let's go to shell class. Let's go to the load from DB. I'm gonna copy that and modify it so that I have the style right away. Okay, so this one is load from DB. So for this we will have student ID, no problem, and later on we will create another one that accepts the identification for the student. Anyway, so select star from students, where student ID equal, wait a second, this is gonna be student underscore ID, just to distinguish it from the variable student ID. student underscore ID. Gosh, this is UD ID. Okay, so here we are opening the record, and what do we have here? We have student ID. This is gonna be student ID. Next one is gonna be what? Student contact. Okay, so there's gonna be student contact. Next one is gonna be student email. There's gonna be student email. Another one. After student email, what do we have? We have student identification. Student ident. There we go. Next one is gonna be what? Student name. There's gonna be student name. And I think last one, student year. Gonna be student year. There we go. student year. Okay. So now setting the old variables. Very similar. Okay. So me dot old student contact equal me dot student contact, and me dot old student email equal me dot student email, me dot old student ID equal me dot student ID, me dot old student identification equal me dot student identification, me dot old student name equal me dot student name, me dot old student year equal me dot student year. Okay, so this is all we need to do. If we have nothing, we will close the record set, we'll roll back, and yeah, this is used for loading the information, no problem. Now we need to do another function. We need to create another function, which is where a record changed. So just copy this again. Now let's go back to here. Just modify the code. Yeah. Old student ID. There we go. And here if tmp dot old, sorry, get, wait a second, old, oh gosh, there's an issue here, wait a second, what is this one? Gosh, this is student class. I was wondering why I didn't get any correct variable name. So this is old student contact equals old student contact, and next we have old student, wait a second, old student email equals old student email, right? And old student ID, old student ID. We still have 3 other variables to check, 1 2 3. So we have what? We have old student identification, old student identification. We need old student name, old student name, old student year, old student year. There we go. So this one simply will load another object, compare the old value for the current one and the one being loaded, and if there's any difference, knows that the values are changed. So yep, this is what we need. And now let's go to the modify. once. So this is insert, this is for record change. We have now the update DB. Just copy this one and let's go to the student class and let's check this. Okay, update DB. So update students set student ID equal at 0 where what? Student ID equal okay, so this one locks the student record, or actually this is what this should be. Yeah, there's the old student ID. There we go. Good. If there was any change, trigger an error. Now let's make these 6 variables as it should be. There's gonna be what? Students, let's copy that. Control V. Okay, so what do we have? We have student name, student ident, we have student year, student contact, student what, email, and we have student ID, right? Okay, just to make it a little bit organized. So copy this, Control C. Good. And next, what do we have here? This is student name. The next one is what? Student identification, student here, student contact. So far we haven't done anything new. We are just repeating things again and again. What's this one? This is the email, right? And this is what? This student ID. Okay, this is gonna be what? Old student ID. There we go. Good. So now set old values now. So we need to set these 6 variables. We have old student contact, we have old student email, we have old student ID, okay, we have old student identification, we have old student name, and we have old student year. Okay, so we have what? Student contact, there we go, student email, student ID, student identification, student what? Name, student here. There we go. As simple as that. I guess that's it. Save. Done. Okay, so this is the update. Let's go and write a test for it. Okay, gosh, not this one. Where is it? Form 1. There we go. Double click on that. Okay. So we will do the following. Copy this, Control C. Okay, 19 load student st2. So now I'm gonna say st2 dot what, load from db. I need to specify the student ID, so it's gonna be st dot student gosh, get st. I didn't create any getter. Student ID. Good. Right, so I'll have to do this in a second. I totally forgot about getters. This student class, and these are the setters, right? So set student ID, public function get student ID, I'll string, oh gosh, it's long, and return me dot student ID. There we go. Next one, I'm gonna say public function get student name, I'll string and return me dot student name. There we go. Next one is get public function get student IDENT, I'll string, so return me dot student identification. And next we have public function get student year, as long return me dot student year. Okay, actually this is an integer, no problem, it doesn't matter. Okay, and the student contact public function get student contact, I'll string return me dot student contact. Go. Finally get student email public function get student email string return me dot student email. There we go. Okay, so we created these, the getters. Now let's go back to the test, and now we should have the function ready to use. You can see the error just disappeared. So this one for loading student information, and we need to create a third one, sorry, another test, I mean test number 20 for modifying that information. Modify the info. Okay, so all we have to do, assuming that the previous one succeeded, instead of this one I'm gonna say st2 dot set student name. Okay, I'm gonna say meow, for example. Don't know if you write it like that, but anyway, so I'm gonna say here update db, and there's gonna be false, of course. I don't want to commit anything, false. And if all goes well, there's gonna be 20 and 20. Okay, so we have 20 tests. Let's save that. Let's run the code, and let us click here, see how this goes. Okay, so all is working fine. So loading, so this one was used to create a new student, this one's used to load the student, this one's used to modify the student. Okay, so we just changed the name, but you know, it's checking everything. So I'll have to save that. Let's go back to this guy, modify student. Let's try to finish this one. uh, remove student, or well, actually I think I already finished 1 hour or something like that, so I will stop here and we'll continue with uh, the next tutorial. So far we are 64%, which I guess is okay. I'm gonna save this anyway, so you could check out the website. You'll find the source code, updated source code, and if you have any questions, send them to notes at mkasoft.com. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.